The nebula's edge was the kind of establishment where species from across the galaxy came to forget their troubles. Located on Station Kepler 442, it served everything from fermented xylothian moss to Earth whiskey, and tonight, it was packed. Commander Jake Morrison sat at the bar, nursing his third bourbon. The human merchant marine had been hauling cargo across the Andromeda trade routes for 5 years, and he'd learned one important rule: keep your head down and mind your business. That rule was about to be broken. At a corner table, 3 Valdran mercenaries, 8-foot-tall reptilian warriors known throughout the galaxy for their combat prowess, were harassing a young Planari server named Z. The small, blue-furred alien was trembling, trying to balance a tray while the largest Valdran, scarred and battle-worn, grabbed her arm. "Please, sir, I need to serve other tables," Z squeaked, her translator barely picking up her frightened voice. "You'll serve us when we say," the Valdran growled, his companions laughing. Around the bar, patrons looked away. Valdran weren't to be trifled with. Their military had conquered 17 systems. Jake set down his glass with a heavy sigh. "Damn it," he muttered. He walked over, each step measured. "Hey fellas, how about you let the lady do her job?" The Valdran leader released Z and stood to his full height, towering over Jake's 6-foot frame. "Human. This doesn't concern you. Walk away, or I'll add your bones to my collection." Jake noticed the 3 other humans in the bar, a dock worker named Marcus Rodriguez, an engineer called Jessica Palmer, and a pilot, Tom Davidson, all watching intently. Marcus caught his eye and gave a subtle nod. "Can't do that, big guy," Jake said calmly. "See, where I come from, we've got this thing about bullies." The Valdran's clawed hand shot out, grabbing Jake by the throat and lifting him off the ground. "Humans. Weak. Soft. Your species survived only because you hid behind diplomacy." Jake's face reddened as his air supply cut off, but he managed a grin. "We've got another thing, too." "What's that?" the Valdran sneered. "We're stubborn as hell." Jake's knee came up hard into the alien's midsection. The Valdran had armor-like scales, but the impact made him grunt and drop the human. Jake landed in a crouch, then drove his shoulder into the mercenary's center mass, using technique over strength. The Valdran stumbled back into his table. The bar exploded into chaos. The other 2 Valdran lunged at Jake, but Marcus was already moving, tackling one from behind. Jessica grabbed a bottle and smashed it over the third's head. Tom vaulted over the bar, sliding a shock baton to Jake. "Humans don't fight fair," the Valdran leader roared, reaching for his plasma pistol. "Damn right we don't." Jake shouted back, activating the baton and jamming it into the alien's weapon hand. Electricity crackled, and the pistol clattered to the floor. What happened next would be studied in xenopsychology courses for decades. The humans didn't fight like the galaxy expected. They didn't use the overwhelming force of the Kryn Empire or the tactical precision of the Thorian Collective. They fought dirty, desperate, and with an absolutely terrifying refusal to stay down. Marcus took a vicious hit that cracked 2 ribs but kept fighting. Jessica, all 5'4" of her, climbed onto a Valdran's back and wouldn't let go no matter how violently he thrashed. Tom fought with a bar stool, improvising every strike. And Jake? Jake fought like a man with nothing to lose and everything to prove. Every time the Valdran leader knocked him down, he got back up. Broken nose. Got up. Split lip. Got up. The alien's translator picked up Jake's words between gasps: "Stay down." Never learned how. The Valdran leader had fought in 30 campaigns. He defeated opponents twice his size and killed warriors legendary in their own right. But this human, this weak, soft creature, wouldn't stop. None of them would. It went against everything the galaxy knew about humans. They were the diplomats, the traitors, the species that talked their way out of conflicts. They'd been attacked during first contact and had chosen negotiation over retaliation. But this? This was something else entirely. Station security finally arrived, led by a Thorian captain who stared at the scene in disbelief. 4 humans stood back to back, bleeding and battered, facing 3 of the galaxy's most feared warriors. The Valdren were actually backing toward the exit. Enough, the captain commanded. The Valdren leader locked eyes with Jake one last time. There was something new in that gaze, not respect exactly, but recognition. "What are you?" he asked quietly. Jake wiped blood from his mouth. "We're humans. We're the species that crawled out of caves, survived ice ages, plagues, and 2 world wars. We're the species that strapped ourselves to controlled explosions just to see what was out there." He took a step forward. "We choose peace because we know the cost of war. But when you threaten the innocent, we remember what we really are." The Valdren left without another word. Later, after medical treatment, the 4 humans sat together nursing their wounds. The bartender, a 6-armed hexapod named Click Rasp, brought them around on the house. "Thank you," Z whispered, her large eyes glistening. "Nobody ever." "It's what we do," Jessica said simply. The story spread. Within weeks, it had reached every corner of the known galaxy. The bar fight at Nebula's edge became legend, not because humans won, but because of what they revealed about themselves. Humans weren't weak. They were restrained. They weren't cowardly. They were patient. And when pushed, when the innocent needed defending, they were absolutely, terrifyingly relentless. The galaxy had been thinking about humanity all wrong. They weren't the soft diplomats who'd lucked into the galactic community. They were survivors of a death world who'd chosen to be better than their nature suggested. That choice made them dangerous in ways the galaxy was only beginning to understand. In the Valdren homeworld's greatest arena, the scarred warrior told the story to younger recruits. "Never underestimate humans," he warned. "They fight like they've got nothing to lose because they've already survived losing everything. They're not warriors. They're survivors. And that's so much worse." Back on Earth, Jake Morrison returned to his small apartment in Houston, Texas. He looked at pictures of his family, his daughters drawing on the fridge of him in his space uniform with, "My hero daddy," scrawled across the top. He smiled, despite his still healing ribs. Humanity, fuck yeah.